At this point in time, it's very controversial to whether or not he is this gang leader. There are many opinions and witnesses on both sides of this. I feel like he has a heart of gold. He tries to help people, but there's a possibility that we've made mistakes along the way, and maybe he's being reprimanded for mistakes that were misunderstood. The intentions behind them may or may not have been to be ruthless, but it contradicts where he's the kind and giving. So where they're trying to show his good side is probably where we have some footing to stand on, because the more and more people that will come forward with that will help bring to light what he's actually completed. After nearly 10 months of jury selection, one of the country's highest profile trials has finally begun. This week, on Monday morning, the Fountain County District Attorney Willis has alleged Grammy-winning rapper Young Thug is the co-founder of a criminal street gang responsible for violent acts dating back a decade. Prosecutors say YSL, the acronyms for the artist label, Young Stoner Life Records, also stands for Young Slime Life, an Atlanta-based street gang affiliated with the National Blood Gang. The artist was charged alongside more than 24 other people under the state's expansive Racketeer Influence and Corrupt Organization Act known as RICO. It's the same law Willis used to indict former President Donald Trump and 18 co-defendants in August in connection with their alleged attempts to overturn 2020 election. The blistering indictment naming Young Thug has turned national attention to the Atlanta courtroom, where opening statements began Monday. Ahead of what could be a lengthy trial with a star-studded witness list, the case has also drawn fierce criticism over prosecutors' use of rap lyrics as proof of the gang's existence, a move some say is a racist violation of freedom of speech and artistic expression. The latest instance of black art being targeted. Young Thug was born Jeffrey Williams, was arrested in May 2022 and charged along with 27 other people, including rapper Gunna and Yacht Gotti. In a sprawling indictment spanning nearly 90 pages, several defendants took plea deals just December, including Gunna and Young Thug's older brother, while others were served with the case for a number of reasons, including representation issues. 6 defendants, including Young Thug, are still facing trial. He remained in custody since his arrest. In court documents, prosecutors argued the rapper is a violent gang leader and have alleged examples they can prove. Among them, he threatened to shoot a security guard in the face. He threatened numerous people. He has flashed the gang's alleged hand signals numerous times, including in a social media post. He rapped about the criminal group. Prosecutors also allege members of the gang has discussed getting Young Thug's permission to kill rapper YFN Lucy, the alleged leader of a rival street gang. Young Thug's defense attorney has denied the accusations and pointed to a different side of the rapper's life in a bond hearing last year. One media executive and longtime friend of the artist testified Young Thug was put here to change the people around him. The Jeffrey I know gave me the clothes off his back, music industry veteran Kevin Miles said. A 15-year-old boy testified the artist tutored him, took him on tours, and urged him to stay away from crimes and drugs. I told him my YSL means young, successful life, because that's something he has created, teen Corey Jackson told the judge. The 32-year-old artist grew up in public housing in a South Atlanta neighborhood, long known for its poverty and violence, and went on to become one of the industry's most innovative and influential hip-hop artists, pushing not just music boundaries, but often cultural ones too, including in his decision to wear an iconic purple dress for his covery 2016 album, Jeffrey. That same year, he founded the YSL record label, which the rapper has used to propel close friends and family members to the industry's success. His tracks have landed him on the top of the charts multiple times, and he collaborated with artists including Camille Cabell, Travis Scott, and Drake. Business is Business, the album he released from jail over the summer, shot to #1 as soon as it dropped. Young Thug's commitment, no crying whatsoever, his attorney Brian Steele has told CNN. CNN reached out to Steele for comment ahead of opening statements. The court is hearing the prosecutor say that Mr. Williams is charged of a criminal street gang, and by his word, people can die. Steele told CNN affiliate WXIA in an interview, and that's just not true. Again, different perceptions may have skewed people's opinions in this matter. Young Thug is wrongly charged on every single count, Steele said, and describes his client as an amazing person who comes from hunger and poverty and the lack of opportunity. He is trying to get others out of poverty, Steele said, and that is his mission in life. Someone who is that compassionate about coming outside and helping other people who have struggled the same way they have, most likely are not out there committing these vicious crimes he is being accused of. Prosecutors say that YSL gang began in 2012 in the area of Cleveland Avenue, near where the rapper grew up. Me and the mayor and the police chief have talked about the facts that Cleveland in our community is referred to as Beaverland, Willis said in May 2022 news conference, indicating the area's appropriate association with the National Bloods game. It is somewhere where violence occurs, where they're making up territory, blood territory. It's horrible. To support their allegations of street gang, prosecutors listed more than 180 acts in the indictment that the group of defendants allegedly committed back in 2012, including murder, assault, armed robbery, carjacking, drug sales, theft, and possession of firearms during the commission of a felony. Among their evidence, they also cited social media posts, hand signals, and clothing tattoos. So we're basically using a person's personality, their style, and their art against them. Among their evidence, they also cited social media. Freedom of speech. I'm allowed to say whatever I want to say on social media. How can this be used against me in court? Young Thug was initially indicted for conspiracy to violate the RICO statute and participating in criminal street gangs activity. And an indictment filed in 22 of August, prosecutors charged him with additional counts related to gang activity as well as drug and firearm violations. The additional charges stem from a search warrant executed by authorities at the home where the rapper was staying in, where drugs and firearms were allegedly found. Young Thug is charged with 8 out of 65 total accounts listed for the defendants. Among the more serious accusations against him is that he rented a car in 2015 that was used to murder for a rival gang member. The fatal shooting was carried out 3 days later by a YSL gang member. The other defendants are still facing trial. Other defendants pleaded guilty to various charges in December 2022 prior to the jury selection. Among them was Gunna, whose given name is Sergio Kitchens. The rapper allegedly entered an Alfred plea on a single alleged counts of conspiracy to violate the RICO law. An Alfred plea allows defendants to maintain their innocence while recognizing it in their best interest not to go to trial. Criminal defense attorney said Devin Rufus, who is not affiliated with the case, was sentenced to 5 years in prison, with 1 year commuted to time served and remaining 4 years suspended. Young Thug's older brother, Gear, known as Unfunk, pleaded guilty to 1 count of violating the RICO Act and 1 count of theft by receiving stolen property. Stevens, known as Tick, also pleaded guilty in December to a RICO charge as a part of a negotiation deal, acknowledging he was one of YSL's founding members and the association of the group committed crimes. Defendant Antonio, known as Monk Tunk, pleaded guilty to 1 count of conspiracy to violate the RICO statute and a firearm charge. In court, he acknowledged YSL is a criminal enterprise, and he committed several crimes on behalf and as part of the group. He also acknowledged he received money from Young Thug to lay low, according to the prosecutor, several days after the fatal shooting of the rival gang member. They include excerpts from Young Thug, in which the rapper says, "Got a lot of followers, a perfect leader, I'm a boss, I call the shots. Come and enroll to the YSL school, I swear I'm the principal, and I never kill anybody, but I got something to do with that body." The inclusion of lyrics in the trial is a move that's long been denounced by defense attorneys. Freedom of speech advocates and artists are discriminatory. So again, we're using art to determine whether or not someone actually played a role. When art can be an expression of one's feelings, thoughts, or otherwise, or just circumstances that they see around them. This is why they took it out of court before. But in this case, we've made an exemption. If you have committed a crime and the state can prove it, then just prove it. With the evidence that someone committed a crime, why do you have to go digging into their artistic profiles?